Hi, my loves. Welcome back. I'm Jay, the Juju Bae, aka Jay's Divine Readings. If you don't know, I changed my name and my brand from Black Libran Goddess to Jay's Divine Readings. By the time this audio has gone up, my website, my relaunch would have gone up. And if you haven't seen the updates or anything about it on before, you can definitely check it out on my blog, and I talk all about what this rebrand is and what it's about. But basically, it's me just saying goodbye to the Black Libran Goddess era in love, thanking it for what it had given me at the time when I needed it, and moving in a place now where I can, let me get this out the way. Got a lot of stuff on my desk. Moving in a place where I can move forward with a newer, more defined, more refocused era, one that is really connected to just a whole new shift and change of things. Particularly, I wanted to really focus on my era, my calling as a hoodoo and a healer, and really just really have something new and fresh to put behind that. Now, all of my old blog things are still there, and I'm still going to be doing some of the same old things, like my monthly tarot readings. I'll still be doing these YouTube videos slash podcasts with the new name, of course. I'll still be doing my Hoodoo 101 and my other postings about spirituality and things like that nature. So none of that changed. It's just that I'm more focused minded without having to feel like I basically just like it's more like me being more into my work, if that makes sense. Like instead of a pseudonym, I'm right there in the title. You know exactly who I am. You know exactly what you're getting. Also, I officially have a shop open now where I'm offering a variety of tarot readings for you to purchase. I'm offering care packs that are free of charge and will always remain free of charge. Also, I'm offering a few conjure services that you can get if you want. But I can't believe I said if that I wasn't going to really talk about it, and then I spent like 3 minutes talking about it. But for this episode, I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do a reading from Messages for the Ancestors. This was really originally going to be a post, and it was going to be like a pick a card post, but it wasn't coming together. I was like, let me just do a collective reading for, just like a general reading for people to listen to and click in and get a message. And that one worked so much better. I was able to pull out all the cards, including oracle cards and the affirmation cards, which I'll use later in the reading, to to um, to supplement this reading. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, into the reading we go. So the cards I pulled was the Emperor card upright, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Hermit card. So, as always, before I get into this reading, I already did my prayer, but let me do another prayer. Great Spirit, my beloved benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, great mother, divine mother Mahogany, and the great grandfather. I pray that you give me knowledge and wisdom in order to accurately read these cards and accurately convey the message that which you have. I pray that all those who come across this message, this reading, these words are words of healing, comfort, encouragement, or whatever the reading has for them. This I pray. Amen and Ashe, Ashe, Amen. So first and foremost, the really thing that's really standing out to me is that you have these two major arcana cards upright, the Emperor and the Hermit. These are two like essentially very different cards if you really think about it. The Emperor is, he's, I was about to say in his bag, but sure, yeah, he's in his bag. He's he's really he's very secure and powerful in his place, his position, and who he is, and what he represents, and what he means. But the Hermit is someone who has, is feeling a bit out of place, and needs to withdraw from society, from everything that he once thought he knew, and take a moment to be a recluse in a bit, to do some internal work. And it's very interesting. You have them both bookending the readings, the reading here, and in the middle you have the Three of Wands upside down, reversed. And what I'm really getting is that for the message of ancestor is that it's going to be really important for us to really stand in our power, to really stand headstrong and forceful in who we are. My new slogan for my website is a quote for my brand, is a quote from my grandmother that she told me, my sister, years ago, and it's been with me ever since. It's know who you are and whose you are. And I've talked about this on my blog before, even before I had changed my name. And what she really meant initially was like, know who you are and know that you're a child of God. And that phrase still means that. But also, like, know who you belong to, know who your ancestors are, know who your people are. Stand really steadfast and firm in knowing those aspects of yourself, and not being afraid of really just like taking your place in the world, especially now. There are so many things happening in the world that the intention is to discombobulate us. The intention is to make us scared, make us afraid, make us not want to like speak up, make us want to shun and hide. And it's intentional. It's intentional for that. If you remember in the last reading, in the last episode, I talked about how, we're all have a calling and a purpose, and it's time for us to meet that calling and meet that purpose with the intent to work communally, in a global sense and in a local sense, in a nationwide sense, wherever you are and wherever you're going, because we really need each other. We really need to be about our business, and we need to stand 10 toes down. We need to be in this emperor type of energy where can't nobody fuck with us. Do you know what I mean? Not in a like, I'm so big and bad you can't, you know what I mean? But like in a, oh, they trying to shake my ground. Not so. Oh, they trying to get me out of my act. Not so. Right? They're trying to make me turn against my people, turn against my global community, in order to because they're doing surveillance state shit, they're doing fear mongering, they're making laws and things that are going to harm people in my community, outside of my community, people I love. And like, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to really stand firm. This is really an important calling for us to really get into. Like, if you've been curious about specifically hoodoo, since this is what I am and what I'm about, is a really good time for you to delve into that. If y'all know me, y'all know that I am a big fan of a Little Juju podcast. Go to episode 1 of that. Little Juju podcast. A little Juju podcast. They don't know me. They don't know me from Eve. And let me tell you, I am their biggest stan. Go to episode 1, Ancestors First. Yes, I do remember the name of the episode. Play that episode and then let that guide you. Because I'm going to tell you, like, immediately that took me from just thinking about it to like, let me try to set up this altar. um, I really do feel like there's a calling home for a lot of us. And that calling home is really telling us it's it's time to get back to those old and those ancient ways. And if you're not a hoodoo, you're listening to this, there is a ancestral practice that comes from your lineage that you've been thinking about or that you're interested in. I would suggest you take a step further. Go look into it. Go research. Figure out the things that you need to do to get into it, because we're going to really need those grounding, ancestral connected practices during this period. Don't let anyone pull you away. Because there are going to be people who, especially if they come from like organized religions, or maybe like even from irreligious or agnostics or atheistic backgrounds, or something like that, they could probably look at you and be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is not what we need at this time. This is exactly what we need at this time. There are people that are going to fight in various different ways, and our fight in this way is equally as important. Don't get it twisted. Don't let them like don't get it twisted. They're just equally as important. Like, please believe. Please believe. They're equally as important. For this Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is stumping me, but I have a deck to pull out some clarification cards. So I'm gonna put some clarification cards here. You hear that shuffle? That was a bad shuffle, but did you hear it? All right, let's see. Spirit, give me some clarification cards for this Three of Wands reverse. Clarification cards. I'm hearing, what are you saying, Spirit? Speak, Spirit, please. It's like this sense of, like, I'm feeling no hesitation. Don't get distracted. Don't worry. Don't. The words are kind of hard for me to say. It's like, you know how when you're looking out over the horizon and sometimes, you know, like let's say you're like just chilling somewhere, you just like pause and you take a look out at the environment that you're in, and whatever you see kind of affects how you interact with it. So if things look beautiful, you know, you're going to probably be in a better mood. If things look not so beautiful, you're going to be in a worse mood. But it's kind of like don't get so wrapped up in what things looks like that it causes you to move out of this Emperor energy, right? Because what things look like is not the totality of what they'll be. How do I say this? I want to say looks can be deceiving, I think. Is this a card? Is this the right card? Page of Swords. Let's see. What else we got here? What else we got here, Spirit? Yeah, it looks... Oh, there you go. You got you got Temperance in reverse. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, there's this... Yeah, so... Definitely don't get caught up in what things look like. I think this is very important that this card is straight in the middle between the Emperor and the Hermit card. With the clarifiers of the Page of Swords and Temperance in reverse. I think what Spirit is really saying, what the ancestors is really telling us, is that we will come across moments and times where our faith, our patience, all of that will be tested. But don't stop the work because it doesn't look like it's working. Don't allow that energy to push you away from what you're doing, from where you're at, from where you're going, from where you need to be. I was on Threads and I remember seeing, if I remember correctly, I remember seeing a post that was like, how do you know if you've been called? How do you know if you've been called? And I don't think there's a one size fits all, but I could tell you from my example, it was like the things that I used to know. So I was raised Christian, I was raised Church and God of Christ, and I appreciate that upbringing from the hindsight view of being out of the church, of course. And for the cultural aspect of what it provided me. But like hindsight, I appreciate it more. But at the time, I had moved out of the church, moved out of my childhood faith, and it was an isolating thing. And there was a point where I was like, okay, I'm agnostic, I'm atheist. And then I was like, this is not who I am. At my core, I'm a spiritual person. At my core, I have faith. But where does my faith belong? And I was thinking of, and I've talked about this numerous times, in various old tarot readings and on my blog, of course. So if you know, you know. But I was really trying to find that place that to answer that innate need in me that needed something external to connect with. And I try to go to the familiar places. I was like, well, I absolutely can't do Christianity anymore. And I was like, well, let me try Abrahamic religions, so Judaism and Islam, because those are familiar. But when I thought about it, I was like, I am not the type of person who will go through whatever it takes to convert just to drop this in like 6 months to a year. And I don't want to be stuck in a faith that doesn't fully connect with me. And at the time I had a lot of friends who were of varying non quote unquote non-traditional belief systems. And I had a lot of friends who were witches. I'm just putting it like that. And I thought about it for a second, but I was like, I don't really vibe with this. And and I don't know what it was, what voice, what just said, try hoodoo. It was my ancestors. But it was definitely that curiosity mixed in with, it felt like pulling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, have you ever had like a vibe check? You ever had like this point where something felt like you knew something was like guiding you in a sense, and you couldn't quite, like there was an itch that you couldn't quite scratch, and there was something there that was like, this could scratch that itch, and you're like, okay, it may not be the exact itch, but it could lead me to, it may not be the exact scratch, but it may lead me to the thing that could scratch it. For me, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like my ancestors, I could like really feel my ancestors saying, come here, come to us, come to us, come to us, come to us, come to us. And when I eventually met the call, it was that everything fell into place. Everything felt like it was finally falling into place. That didn't mean it was easy, because it has not been, or that it was always like everything was always gentle, because that's life. But it felt like the things that I thought Christianity could give me, the things that I thought that what I knew could give me, it was not. It was like finding your that favorite food that you're like, where have you been all my life? And you're like, I cannot believe I've gone my whole life without having this in me, without having this fulfill me. And I think that is the special note to take for those of you who happen to read this, and who happen to read this, happen to listen to this and wonder, what am like, what's how do I know I'm being called? How I know if there's a point of view that is absolutely pulled to something, like genuinely, not like it moves past just curiosity, and is it moves past just a temporary fixation, because you can be interested in a lot of things. Like I was briefly interested in Ifa, and because a lot of people around was talking about it, and I was like, oh, let me see what this is as well. And I just like that interest just seemed to fade away. Not, I think it's a beautiful religion, and I like the people. I still follow people who practice it, and their insights have been wonderful, because spirit moves as spirit moves. But it just wasn't for me, and it's one of those things that the more I got deeper into my hoodoo practice, it pulled me away from other things that were fascinating to me, but that weren't for me. It was a feeling of being rooted in something that was true, and something that was 100% connected to me beyond just myself, connected to me in how I relate to spirit, how I relate to the people around me, how I relate to the earth, how, all of those things. And I think when we're talking about this reverse 3 of Wands here, it's really telling us that even though things may not look the way it is, and even though things may not like move and guide it, kind of like flow into the way that we think it can, when you have met that calling that the emperor is really kind of pulling us to, and you sit in that, those other things that you're looking out on and may seem to like pull you one way or the other, they'll begin to dissipate the more you stand firm in that emperor energy. The more you learn, the more you grow, the more you connect to your ancestors, the more you connect to your people, the more you connect to your roots, the more you connect to your practice. You won't feel the need to have to sort of like explain yourself, or tolerate things with the reverse temperance card here. You won't really feel the need to have to sort of like either or. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to try this for a little while and then like get scared and kind of move back. You'll find yourself being more solidified, more grounded, more enriched, tangled up in those ancestral practices, because they're not going to let you go. Especially if they're calling for you, they're not going to let you go. Like you can answer the call if you want to, but they're not going to let you go. Like, our people won't let us go. Which kind of brings me to the Hermit card, which again, the Hermit card is like so different from the Emperor card. The Hermit card, like I said, is a card that tells us to take a moment to reflect, to take a moment to ourselves. And I think when we're talking about this ancestral message, like in general, what does that mean for this reading? Let me get some more clarifying cards. Let's see. Because what would that mean in the essence of this message, Spirit, please? Okay. Oh, we got the Lovers in reverse. Okay. That does not clarify a thing. Help me out, Spirit. Oh, one popped up and then came back down. Okay. All right. So yeah, about the calling, the reason why I brought that up, because I don't think I fully explained it properly, is that while I don't know what it feels like for anyone else, because I can only be myself, what it feels like to be called to something. Like I said, curiosity is really important, and it's good to chase that curiosity. But I will say, like I mentioned, Juju Bay's podcast, like I was in forums and groups and other things, and I was reading and I was studying, and all of it felt like just like being in school. Like, it was good and it was interesting. I was taking notes, but it wasn't that impetus that I needed to really kickstart me. I needed that thing that really was just like, listen, if this is for you, you'll feel it, and you won't have to force it. And I think that's really important, because when it comes to hoodoo, everyone feels like they can have a hand in it, and they don't. They don't. Like, you can say whatever you want to, but you don't. It's a Black African and an African American practice, and you cannot be white and do hoodoo. You cannot be any other race and be hoodoo. You just can't. It's a closed practice, and it's closed for people of a certain ethnic group. It's not the first closed religion or the first closed practice, and it won't be the last one. And the reason why is because it has a distinctly historical tie that is deeply enriched in our African heritage, and deeply enriched in our connection our connection with, as enslaved Africans, a connection with that part is something that's grown out of not just survival, but for protection, for it's just like it's if you're interested in hoodoo, that's fine. But if you're thinking, oh, I'm not Black, I'm white and Irish, and I watch Sinners, and I want to do hoodoo, it's like, that's nice. But you skipped over the Irish part. There are ancient Irish traditions that you can do, but you don't want to do that, because that will require a connection in a way that you don't want to do. You can't bypass it. Just like I said, like how Aoife was interested in me, but outside of it being interested, it didn't fully connect with me, because it just didn't. It wasn't for me. It wasn't something that I think my ancestors, even like all the way back to Africa, practiced. It wasn't something. Aoife is a religion, so I don't really think, and I don't know nothing about Aoife, so I can't really tell you how that works. Because I think I saw like a white Aoife practitioner, so I don't think Aoife is a closed practice. But what I'm saying, like for me, it wasn't something that was deeply connected for me to connect to. But if you're feeling a calling to something, it's increasingly important that you really you have to, how can I say this? Because I'm trying to say it in a way that makes sense, but I'm also trying to say it in a way that sounds nice. Curiosity is a starting point, is not the totality. And you should not be approaching practices and things like that's going to that have deep and rich histories simply for the fact of curiosity. Because you can, like I said, you can study it without connecting to it. You can read the books on it without having to be like, oh, this is interesting, I'm just going to, like, hoodoo is not new age. New age spirituality is not a stopping point. It's a merging point. It's a place where you go, you meet, and then you veer into actual paths, because New Age has literally just stolen from so many traditions and so many belief systems. It's impossible for it to be a true and authentic rooted practice, no offense. But you can't treat hoodoo like that, because it is a true and authentic practice. You can't be like how New Age people's like, oh, I got chakras, and I got this from Hinduism, I got this from Judaism, I got this from paganism, and I'm just gonna mix it all together. It's like, those things don't always go together, right? You need something more, something solid. And if you're feeling that call to something, I hope it's a call in a way that you can feel solid, complete, grounded. Grounded is the key, right? Because you don't want to be like, or I hope you don't be like is that these things are a trend. I saw singers and it was this, and it sounded fun. You know, this is actual people's practices, beliefs, and it's not a joke for me, and it shouldn't be a joke for you. Whatever your practice is, you should take it as seriously as you can. Like, if you want to dress up as a witch for Halloween, that's fine. But if you're only a witch for an hour on October 31st, that does not make you a witch, right? If you know, you can dress up in a headdress, a Knight of Cups. You can dress up in a headdress at Coachella, but that doesn't make you native, right? It sure shit don't make you native. And that's what I hope I'm making sense when I say that. All right. And the final card is the Ten of Swords reverse. Okay, geez, the Ten of Swords. Every time I see the Ten of Swords card, I'm like, my God. The Ten of Swords kind of have that kind of energy, like, because it's so much. It's so much. It's such a big card. Because if you ever seen Ten of Cards, it's literally a person on the ground with like swords sticking out their back, like the ultimate betrayal. But I think you have like the Lovers here, the Knight of Cups here, and you have and all of these are reversed, and Ten of Swords in reverse. So all of these are clarifying the Hermit card. So I'm really getting like this Hermit period is like, it really is just that period of reflection. But coming after the Emperor and the reverse Three of Wands, where the Three of Wands are telling you to I got a lot of thoughts in my head right now. With Three of Wands is telling you to not get so caught up, so wrapped up in the image of something, or how something looks, or how something's perceived, or whether or not this thing is looking or moving in the way that you want to. The Hermit card being clarified here is kind of telling you that the period that we're in is going to feel lonelier than it actually is. Kind of really working together with that Three of Swords. These periods here are really connected more so. Like the Emperor card here is a really big rooted card here, and these other cards are really just saying like, listen, when you get into that practice that you've been thinking of or connecting to, or it's been calling you, when you get into that, don't expect to be immediately in that Emperor energy. Like that, like the Emperor energy here is the energy that you're going to embody eventually. But don't think that you're gonna like light a candle and get a cup of water and say a prayer, and then immediately you're like, boom, all powerful hoodoo who can, like, I don't know, insert some things what people think hoodoos do. That's not how it works. You do need learning. You do need time for reflect. You do need time to sit with your ancestors and to study and understand and comprehend. And I really like the Ten of Swords in reverse here, because it's going to seem like at some point, because of that isolation period, that period where you just need to take and reflect and meditate. And I think that's really what the Hermit card is telling you, is that internal work that's going to need to be done during this period, while you're pushing forward and moving forward in your practice and your belief in your calling and your purpose and all of that good stuff, is that it's going to feel like you're being like, it's going to feel like you're 100% alone, or even worse, it's going to feel like people who knew you before are going to, they're going to have something to say. Let's just be honest. They're going to have something to say. They're going to have some feelings, some thoughts. Let them. Like, dead ass, let them. Because those feelings, those thoughts, there's nothing you can do about it. It really doesn't have any effect on you. And by that I mean, it's like, not that it won't hurt, but it's just, or it won't annoy you. It's just, at the end of the day, like, all of these energies, like, you got the reverse lovers card, so people that are close to you may pull away. People that may, like, have a lot to say behind your back, or they're constantly, like, you're constantly on their thoughts and their minds, and they're using a negative way. That's going to pull back. And people that's really kind of like being in your business, they're gonna, like, be slowly, gently removed, harshly in some cases. It's a really good time for, especially for those of you that are always kind of like, look, let me tell you this. I used to pray, Spirit, remove my enemies. Anyone who don't make any good for me, remove them from my life. And then I was dropping friends like flies, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Actually, you will receive, baby. You will receive, boo boo. It was necessary, because these weren't people that could be in my life, at least not for long. They couldn't go where I would need it to go, where I was going to go. I couldn't take them with me, or I couldn't go where I'm going while they were with me, which sucked, because these were really, like, some of them were friends, some of them were associates, and a couple of them were really good friends. I mean, like, best friends. That shit still hurts, but it's a prayer that I prayed, and I didn't really realize what I was praying. And now that I know what I was praying, I'm a little bit more cautious with my prayers. I'm a little bit more wiser with my prayers. But it's necessary. It's necessary for growth, which is why this hermit card is like, it's not usually, the hermit card is self chosen isolation for reflection. This is kind of those cards. It's kind of like the card where, like, it's just a consequence of where you're at, where you're going. Let's see if I can get one more card from my original deck. Let's see. Spirit, can I get one more card? I feel like there should be a fourth card here. Is there an additional message for these cards smell like baby powder. There's nothing to do with the message. It's just true. They smell like baby powder. Oh, I love baby powder. Let's see. Spirit, give me another message. Another message that follows up on the hermit card. Another card, please, Spirit, if you can. If you. Oh, the moon. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I really love that. I really love how this is all kind of really supplementing that emperor energy, because you have the moon, and that's insight, that's wisdom, that's hidden and secret knowledge. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing, for those of you who are moving into these ancestral or traditional practices that you're into, you're really opening up a new era in your life, right? And this new era is really solidifying that emperor energy again, that energy where you're rooted, where you're strong, where you're secure in who you are and whose you are and what you're meant to do. And this will come with time. Like, it's not going to happen immediately. But if you're hearing this and you're listening to this and you're like, I need some kind of, I've been curious about something, and I need some type of I need some kind of push, something that kind of like that. This is the push for you, baby. Boo boo. This is your push. You're on a swing, and I'm pushing you, darling. So yeah, like this, all of this energy following the emperor energy, you definitely, and it's ending here with this moon card. And I love that you have 3 major arcana cards that are upright, and major arcana cards are really like those big parts, those really big moments in life that the minor arcana, which are like more smaller moments in life, kind of fills up. It's like the big moments are like, how do I put this? It's basically, you think about any part of your life that's really huge. It's like if you're saying like, oh, huge. It's like saying, I want to find my dream job or whatever. this particular profession, that's this, that, and third. That's the major arcana, right? It seems a small thing, but work with me here. The minor arcana are all the little things you need to do to get that dream job. So it's the going to school, getting your resources, letting the jobs, taking the time for the jobs to open up, for the spaces to move and act, like all of those things in order to get that dream job. And that dream job represents something even bigger, like what it represents. So like stability, it represents maybe a legacy, it represents like generational wealth or generational like stability, all those type of things, that what your dream job is offering. Like it's the big things, and that's what the major arcana cards are. And so you have these big three. So we have this three major arcana cards here. So this is a very big moment for a lot of you listening to this. This is the moment. Do you know what I mean? This is the time where you'll go back and you'll listen to something and you'll be like, there was this one reader, I don't even remember their name, but they told me, get into my ancestral practice, get into my hoodoo, get into my, I don't know any other practices, into my santeria, into my voodoo, get into my insert indigenous practice here. And I did. And let me tell you something. That shit changed everything. That shit changed every fucking thing. And that is what this energy is. There's going to be so much knowledge and wisdom and insight that you have personally about your own life, about your purpose in this life, and something that you can share with other people, even if it's just you writing in your journal and leaving it for your children or your children's children to find. There is going to be a very big period here where everything just like that falls into place like that. And it all starts right here in this Emperor energy. It all starts right here when you rooting yourself in something that is valid and real and true for you. And when you do that, you start moving into that Three of Swords energy, where things you start re-looking at how you see things and how things are shaping around you, and you start to stop like moving according to like the blows of the wind, right? Because you're starting to ground yourself more and more. You're starting to see that certain people are moved out of the way, but also certain ideologies, certain belief systems, certain fears, certain things are being moved out of your way while you take that time to really focus on yourself with the Hermit card here, to really focus on really learning and growing and expanding and like finding your gifts, finding your purpose, moving into those avenues. And that leaves space that's been cluttered with excess people and excess things that, while you can appreciate the time that you had with them, they just aren't here where you need to be for right now. Maybe they'll come back in later, I can't tell. But for right now, they have to make room because there's something else coming in, something else that you need to come in. And what's coming in is this wisdom, this insight, these things that funnels right back into the Emperor energy. It's like a cycle that's moving and moving and moving. Nothing ever really dies, nothing ever really stops. We're constantly living in a cycle of birth and rebirth, birth, death, rebirth, birth, death, rebirth. Like that's the cycle of life. And so this Moon card is really pulling you right back into the Emperor card, because when you get into that, get more wisdom, you start really building that throne. You start really getting settled in it. And the more you do that, the more that Three of Wands reverse comes in, where things start looking funny, they start looking different, and you start looking and viewing things different. And then you get back into that hermit mode, where you are really studying, focusing, and maybe not even always fully isolating, but you really are getting into a place where you are taking that knowledge and making it into something, alchemizing it into something real, solid, and true. And that leads you to your insight, which again, cycle again. Let me put these cards up. I love that. I really do. I really, truly, truly do. I really think that if you're hearing this and you need like a confirmation of movement, allow this to be your confirmation. Always check with your ancestors first. But if this is something that is a confirmation that I should really start looking into my ancestral practices, into my native practices, into the practices that had sustained my people for years, for generations, for eons before I was even born. This is it. This is that reminder that yeah, you really need to get into it and to look into it. I'm going to move on to the oracle parts of it. So I got some oracle cards I had put earlier. And, so I pulled these cards earlier and literally forgot what they were. And so this is really good because I have spiritual awakening and reflection from my guidance of oracle deck. So this is really important because you have that spiritual awakening now. This is a point of spiritual awakening or reawakening. If you had been in a practice and maybe like took a step back from it for a little bit or whatever reason, this may be a point. You may find yourself at a time period where something is waking you up and bringing you back. Something is like, you thought you was gonna leave me, but actually I'm still here. It's like, but you thought. And reflection period really goes hand to hand with that Three of Wands and Hermit card. Three of Wands reverse and Hermit card. Spiritual awakening really is blending in with that Emperor card. So yeah, this is a really important moment for you guys, for all of us actually, to reaching a point where we are awakening to our spiritual selves. And don't let anyone tell you that in times like this your spiritual faith is not important. Those things, I'll say to this, I'm always cautious of people who somehow thinks who are so quote unquote revolutionary minded, but the only thing they want to do is burning down, and that's it. They think once I burn the system down, it's be good. But like, okay, what are you going to do when the system rebuilds itself? Because I'm telling you right now, nothing that we're living under is new into the earth, into the world. It may have more modern names, but there have always been terrible people who wants to watch the world burn just to feel its warmth, who wants to rule the whole entirety of the world. Colonization is not a new thing. Fascism, it may have a new name, but it's not a new thing. You know, there have always been people committing genocides. Some of it are in our religious texts. If you grew up in certain religions, you'll see those, and they've been applauding certain genocides of people. They've been victims of genocide. You know, like those things are not new. And what I mean is that doesn't mean we don't care about them, because this work matters because we care about them. What are you living for? Like, I remember, quick, like a side note, a side rant, if you will. I remember seeing an anti-natalist person who was a leftist, and I was like, how? Because you like, it's fine if you don't want children. I'm not saying you should have them, but you're saying like no one should be having kids and it's bad to have children. I'm like, what are we fighting for if not for the future? You want the world to die with the rest of us? You want our generation to be the last generation? You want every child that's currently born to be the very last child that's ever born, everyone to die? Then what is the point of it all? What are you fighting for if you're not fighting for generations that would outlive you? Whether they're yours or not. I currently do not have any kids. I'm not even sure if I will have kids. Hopefully I will, but if I don't, I still have generations that will live after me. And I care about the earth and I care about the people on it to make sure that those generations that I will never meet, strangers' children that I will never meet, they will never know my name. I will be a nothing and nobody going and blowing into the dust and the wind after my passing. But I care enough to make sure that this is an earth that is habitable for them, not just for me. I don't want the system to die because the system is corrupted, or not just because the system is corrupted, but I want people to live. And that's what you need to focus on. That's why spiritual matters matter. It matters that we are ensuring that humanity and our connection with the earth and the earth herself continues on. That these systems don't just ravage the earth and then that's it, the earth is dead. Because then what are we fighting for? We fight for the generations that are here and there's yet to come. We fight for our cultures, our communities, for each other. We fight for humanity. And humanity includes your spiritual self. And usually if you have those spiritual, like hoodoo, very tied to the earth. It's animistic in nature. It's tied to the earth. It's tied to the spirits of the earth. And because of that, we care for the earth. We care for the earth because we know that she is important and she cares for us. So we care for her right back. It's that reciprocal relationship. And for someone to be like worrying about spiritual matters during this time of period is ridiculous. It's unnecessary. That tells me more about them and everything else. I'm not saying that everyone has to be. I'm a big fan of like let people believe what they want to believe. So if you're an atheist, that's fine. But there are atheists who understand that the earth is a necessary thing to care for, right? You don't have to understand that from a spiritual lens. You can understand it from a basic lens. Like, hey, if all our trees are gone, if all our water is gone, we all die, right? So don't let anyone tell you that this moment that you're in, where you are looking and connecting to, and where you're looking and being called to, and you're connecting to these ancient spiritual practices, is a misguided, like you're being misguided and targeted. There's bigger, more important things. Like all of these things exist at the same time. You know, like you can do all of this, and a lot of this stuff is interconnected. This spiritual awakening, this spiritual work is connected to the outer work that we're doing, because hoodoo is not a passive practice, a passive religion. It's a heavily active one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's, and again, because I'm a hoodoo, so whatever, you don't necessarily have to be called a hoodoo, but if you are called a hoodoo, hello, welcome. If you're not, and it's like, hey, this is calling me towards my ancient ancestral practice, hi, hello, I love that for you. But for hoodoo, as myself, it's a very active practice. It's an active practice. And that active practice includes more than just, like, we don't just sit and just pray it away. If there's an issue going on, we get to the altar. We get our hands in some herbs and some roots. We go down to the river. We're making a jar. We're making a candle. Something's getting done. Some work is getting worked, because it's an act of faith, an active practice. So don't let anyone tell you that you experiencing a spiritual awakening right now is being disconnected from the bigger energy, the bigger issues at play that we're seeing in the world. Let them know, like, baby, I'm doing my work. This is a part of the work. Yes, it is. So yeah, we have spiritual awakening, we have reflection. And of course, these are going in with spiritual awakening with the again, the Emperor and the Moon cards, and reflection is going in with the Three of Wands reversed and the Hermit card. Next, I pulled some cards from the Grandma Baby's Lenormand, and the cards we have is Fish and Whip. So let me just give me a second and pause and find these. Use the guidebook. All right, so the guidebook says for Fish, ask your grandmother and she'll tell you fish are babies soon to be born. This card can represent birth in the intellectual, spiritual, or even the physical sense. I love that. Fish is blessings, gifts, but remember to consider how much time do you spend in gratitude for the blessings you already have, nurturing them to full bloom. When you ask for more blessings, you are prepared to make the necessary room in your life to accommodate them. Coveting the blessings of others and attempting to copy their gifts won't bring you their same satisfaction. You chose your life out of all lives, and you chose these gifts out of all gifts. Before you were even born, before you curse what you chose, and what you have, perhaps you should be divining about how these things shape who you are and what you came here to do. Examine the bigger spiritual picture. And for whip, we have sacrifice. Nothing worthwhile or lasting has ever been achieved by simply wanting it to be yours. In the spirit world, sacrifice and work moves things a lot further than simply thinking it into your life. So are you willing to sacrifice your time, your money, your comfort, convenience, and privilege for what you want? Or will you sit at the altar, palms open, expecting everything? This card is also about the sacrifices your ancestors made for you to be here today. You are the manifestation of their work and sacrifice. You are the product of their magic. You honor them and the sacrifices they made, but also honoring yourself. Love that. Love that. Oh my God, I love that. Going back to fish for a moment, I yeah, so like I don't know if you guys know, but yeah, like fish would be like you dream of fish that meant babies, and babies are generations. Babies are like the book says, blessings, gifts. It's those things that come after. It's the things that are to come, the legacy, those all of those things that we wish and hope for. And that really ties into the whip here when you're talking about like certain things that were sacrificed, especially we're talking about our ancestors sacrificed for us to be here. That's one of the things that I pray when I do my daily prayers is like I thank my ancestors for the sacrifices that made for me to be here. They are, we say there's a phrase like I am my ancestors' wildest dream, and I'm not sure if all of us actually really know exactly how true that is. That we truly are our ancestors' wildest dreams. That our ancestors wished for a life that a lot of them could never have, and we have it. We may not have like the perfect life because again, life is life. Life is gonna life. But we do have a life that's even better than what they had mostly, and likewise we wish the same for our future generations. Like as good as things are, like as things are much better than my ancestors have been through, I want my descendants, whoever they are, their life to be even better. I'm willing to make some sacrifices now so that I can create a plant a seed that they get to eat the fruit of, because I've been eating from the fruits from the trees that my ancestors planted. And that's really important when we're talking about this ancestral practice and getting back to those ancestral roots that practices that we're connecting with. It's really important to look at what blessings that we already have and be grateful for them, and also be willing to wave in the new blessings that are coming our way and believe and have faith that we're going to receive them. But it's not just faith, like the whip says. There's also work to be involved. And like I said earlier, hoodoo is a active practice. It's not passive. You can't just think your way into or pray it away. You have to actively put in the work, actively do the work, actively ensure that the life you want, the things that you want, the things that you crave, the legacy that you're trying to build, you can have that. You have to put in the work. Because again, your ancestors weren't just sitting back twiddling their thumbs being like, oh gee, I hope things are better. They were fighting. They were fighting for their lives, fighting for their freedom, fighting for their cultures, fighting for their people, fighting for their existence, their truth, and their rights to this life. And because they fought, because they did that, they put in the work, and that work is the result of it. Excuse me. The result of it is you. It's me. It's everyone that is still on this earth, that's still fighting against forces that are telling us the battle's already won and you already lost. Like, fuck that. No, it is not, and no, we have not. You got blessings coming. That fish is the moon card. Blessings, lessons, insight, wisdom, right? It's that whip is the hermit card. That internal hermit, yeah. It's the hermit card. It's the three of wands reverse card. It's that work, that put into action, that looking around and being like hell to the nah, or looking around and being like, this and that, and this is not going to happen. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let this. I'm going to choose and make. I'm going to choose the path. I'm going to choose the work that is going to solidify me. That's going to bring me into this emperor energy. That's going to really take me to this point where my spiritual awakening is not in vain, where I'm actually building something, solidifying something, growing something true, and my enemies don't get to decide that I've already lost because they decided they already won. Like, how cute. Like, you may be strong, but I'm stronger. You may be tough, but I'm tougher, right? Because I am the owner of my destiny. I'm the owner of a lineage that knows how to fucking fight. They've been fighting since before I came into the world, and they've always known people like you, and people like you have lost before because your mindset is so limited. It's so focused strictly on how do I accumulate this stuff now. It's never like your enemies are not thinking long term. They're thinking, how do I destroy them now? Because in their mind, if I can get you now, there won't be a future for you. Meanwhile, you're getting knocked back and you're getting up, you're dusting yourself off again, and you're like, bet, I'm about to get my lick back. I'm about to get my fucking lick back. Best believe. Best believe. So yeah, the whip is that work that what is the book called it? It called it sacrifice. It's yeah, sitting at the altar's palm open, waiting for everything. Our ancestors are not fairy tale creatures. Um, they're not genies, you know. They make things move for us, but we also make things move for them and with them. It's that mutual work that we put in with each other. It's that work that we put in with our communities here on Earth. It's those things that the reason why our ancestors are still here, still fighting, still going, is because we know how to be in that whip energy. We know how, when to sacrifice and what to sacrifice, and knowing, like, and sacrifice don't always mean like laying down and just let the world gut you and bleed you. It means like sometimes I may not be able to rest until this work is done, or I may not be able to go to this place and do this thing because I got some work to do, and that work comes first. You know, there's different ways to sacrifice, and there's different ways, there's different types of works that were required for us, different types of battles that we can fight, different type of ways that we fight, and all the ways that we fight eventually leads us back to that place where how do I say this? I'm trying to make sure I'm making sense. We get that whip energy that where we are not allowing other people to define us or to decide what is ours, and we take what's meant for us. We do the work to take what's meant for us. That's where the reverse wand, three of wands, and the hermit card comes in here. We decide what's ours. We decide how to work and do that work, and we do that for the insight, the wisdom, the blessings that the fish card and the moon card gives us. Right, we do that work, and in the end, the result is that fish card, and the end result of all of that is the emperor card. It's more solidified, more stronger, more rooted in ourselves. Right. Our next we have hold on. Next we have from the After Goddess Rising deck, we have 3 cards, and the 3 goddesses that came up are Mama Lisa, Cosmic Power, Tituba, Feeling Safe, and Swache, Grounding. So I'm going to read all of these from the book. I literally had no idea that these cards are 2, 4, and 3. So they're back to back to back in remember the other. I really kind of love that. I really kind of love how like these cards are kind of like, before I even read what the readings are, it's kind of like back to back back, because when I got started my practice, and when my ancestors said give it over to me, and I was like, gave it to them, it's like that. I think I mentioned that earlier. Back to back, like stuff is fast moving, and I feel like that it really is like the energy, like not that you shouldn't take time to like really learn and study and grow, but I'm saying like I've been in this practice, it'll be 6 years this summer, and there's just some things that just kind of like move faster than you realize. You're like you go from like, oh, I'm learning, and next thing you know, you're like, holy shit, how did I get here? How did I get here? You have to stop and reflect because things are moving. I really like that these cards are back to back. I'm gonna actually switch 3 and 4 over so I can read them straight from each other. So cosmic power, grounding, and feeling safe, back to back to back. Like I feel like that's going to be when the spiritual awakening hits you, and that reflection period starts to open up. I really feel like things are going to be moving for a lot of y'all so fast. It's going to be like a whiplash. Like it's going to happen so quickly that you're going to be like, damn, all it took was like making an altar. All it took was me for like sitting in reflection and sitting in prayer. Yes, it's going to be like that for a lot of y'all. It's going to be like that. Like I feel like not even just a lot. I feel like everyone listening to this is going to be so amazed at how. Like if I'm gonna be posting this in March, so I feel like from this March to next March, in a year's time, watch how things quickly move for you. Like mark it, note it, get a notebook, write it down, and see how quickly things move from you from 1 year to the next, from 1 month to the next, from time to time to time. That's how I feel like this energy is going to flow. But Mawa Lisa is a cosmic power. Her guidance is you are in the right place. Amen. Release the fear of your power. You are sacred. You are magic. Now that you know this, you can no longer pretend not to. Amen. That's that spiritual awakening. Rise up into your magnificence. Love and accept yourself fully to unlock everything you seek. Stop pretending to be less than you are. I'm going to repeat that again. Stop pretending to be less than you are. Your real power has nothing to do with external gains. Cosmic power cannot be destroyed or lost. You were created by the same force that birthed the sun and the moon. The goddess declaration is, my power shines forth from wisdom. Love that. Love that. It's like baby, this if this card is not telling y'all it's time to wake up and step forward into everything that you've been looking for. Like I said, if you're coming across this reading and it's sparking something in you that's saying like, hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to go. This may be the thing that you need. This may be the thing you need to like really wake you up, to really spark, to really get you going, to light that fire underneath your ass, so to speak. Satchway is hers grounding, and her guidance is protect your magic. Your heart is your own. Your body is your own. Your mind is yours. Your truth and story are your own. Be rooted in your truth. Yes, create healthy boundaries. I love it. I love the word rooted because I tell my ancestors all the time, like I'm rooted in them. Like can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like the person I am now is so, I don't even want to say different than the person I used to be. It's more that I'm just more authentic and fully into myself more. And that's because my ancestors have truly encouraged me to be my true authentic self, to no more hiding who I am, no more apologizing for who I am, no more trying to bend and contort and chisel myself down. This is something that's more palatable for people who don't even know how to handle me and didn't care to. And because of that, when I rooted myself in them, I rooted myself in myself. I rooted myself in my practice. I rooted myself in them. I rooted myself in myself. Right? And knowing who I am, that's that grounding energy. That is definitely that hermit energy. Right? Taking that time, like I said, you may be pushing people away, but those are people that need to be pushed away from you, because you're really going to be grounding yourself in the knowledge and the wisdom and your practice, and becoming more of your true and authentic self. I say it all the time, true and authentic self. The person that who you are when no one else is watching. The person who you are that you don't have to apologize for being. You don't have to apologize for laughing loudly, or for being an affectionate person, or for being a sensitive person. You know, you can be who you are and stand firm in that place and that purpose and that part of yourself, because you have been connected and rooted, just like the cosmic power. Was that cosmic power? No, that's this one. You've been rooted in your truth. You've been rooted in your purpose. You've been rooted in your calling. You've been rooted in your faith and your practice and your ancestors. Her embodiment says, your energy is unsteady. Breathe. Come into the present. Say out loud, I am here. Trauma, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and fear disconnect you from your body. Grounding keeps you present. When you feel rootless or unsettled, come back to your breath. Meditation and breath work. I love that, because we also have the reflection card. And like I said, the Hermit card is about like taking a moment of reflection, taking a moment to think and study and step away for a moment. Meditation and breathwork are grounding. Try earthing, connecting your feet to soil. Love doing that, honestly. Free riding, clapping, stomping, and rubbing your hands together are all grounding. Goddess declaration is, I am firmly planted and deeply rooted. I am firmly planted and deeply rooted. Y'all better go on. And finally, Tituba. And hers is feeling safe. Her guidance reads, it is finally safe to be you. Ooh, I love that. I love that coming, especially coming from that grounding. It is finally safe to be you. You have wandered through a dark night. Your trip has been long. There is light ahead. Your liberation is apparent. Her embodiment reads, you deserve to feel secure. Feeling safe is knowing that your basic needs are met. Feeling safe is feeling at home in your body. Feeling safe is trusting your journey. Feeling safe is feeling free around those you love. Feeling safe is trusting that the sun will rise again. If you grew up emotionally, spiritually, or physically unsafe, reset your default expectations to a healthier vibration. God's declaration, I am safe, and it is safe to be safe. You are safe. You are safe in your ancestors. You are safe in your practice. Even though the world around us may not be safe, and I'm not even going to lie about that. It may be scary, because it is scary. You are still safe to be you. You're still safe to declare yourself, to exist in your fullness. You're allowed, if I can say that, you're allowed to exist in yourself, in your fullness, and embrace that whole part of you. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear write your story. Don't let fear determine your purpose and your destiny. You are more than you think you are. You are more than you believe you are. You are greater than you could ever imagine or hope to be. And that's because you have so much greatness within yourself, but greatness within your lineage. Good gosh. Greatness in your spirit. Greatness in the power of spirit that moves through all of us. This world is still beautiful yet. There's still wonder and hope and joy and fulfillment, and we can make a world where we're safe, where our children are safe, where our children's children are safe. We get to make that world. Those who have accumulated power through violence do not get to dictate that. And we don't have to sit in fear anymore. We can stand firm, ground ourselves, root ourselves in our faith, our practices, our active faith, our active practices. Like I said, I can't talk about other faiths, but I know for a fact hoodoo is not a passive faith. It's not just one of those pray it and give it up to God things. I mean, it's not that we don't like do something like, hey, ancestors got that. But I'm saying like it's an active place. We get in, we do the work. We make sure that the world that we want to see is a real and tangible one, not just in hope and not just in theory, not just in thinking, as the whip card said in the guidebook, but in actuality, in work, and the fruits of those labors would be shown. It will not return to us void. And so we're nearing the ending of this reading for today. Thank you, first of all, for you guys coming and playing this audio and spending some time with me. I really appreciate that. As always, I'm going to be leaving with this reading with some affirmation cards to take with you. So our first affirmation card is, I am surrounded by love and support. I love that. I love that because I do think that we are, not just with our ancestors, but also communities, family, friends. We're surrounded by love and support from other people, and we can be the love and support for each other. We can create the world we want to see. We can create the community we want to see by being a community and in community with other people. I am the author of my own story. Love that one as well. Like I said, we create. We are as equally as powerful. We are creators. We're procreators. We can create the world we want to see, and that should be our spur, our guiding force, to not just find this spiritual awakening for our own selves, but also for the communities that we already exist in now, and for the people that are coming after us. And we can create that world and reality that we imagine. The world doesn't look like it is because that's just innate. Like, life is going to life, but somebody somewhere imagined a world where other people are underneath their boots, where they accumulate and hoard all the power and the resources without second thought to other people or even how it may affect the earth. We can dream and create a world where those systems, some of which are already dying, are fully dead. And we can create a world where, if they seek to rise up again, our the following generations can take and lead from our examples and slay the beast again. And our final card is from the I Am Everything deck, and it says, I am strong. I am stronger than I think I am. I reject victimhood. My strength is knowing that all circumstances are temporary. I focus my attention on what's in front of me. I naturally move forward into new phases of life. I am strong. I naturally move forward into new phases of life. If this is a new phase of life for you, and I really do think this is a message for those who are really moving into a new phase of life, you are strong and you naturally are moving. This new phase of your life will feel as easy as breathing. It really will. There would be a point in your life where you wondered why it took you so long to move here. Be kinder to your past self. Your past self knew what they knew. But it would be so easy because things are going to, like I said, with these African Goddess Rising cards, how things are moving like that. Things are going to be moving so fast, and things are going to be pushing you forward in a way that that you would have only been able to dream about. You would not have, like, you would be like, I would have never thought. I would have never thought that this would be my life in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in my case, almost 6 years' time. Like, literally, if you would have told me, like, in 2016, 2017, when I was, like, really thinking about, like, finding and refining my spiritual practice, that a decade later I'd be here, I'd have been like, that don't sound like me. That's not something I do, you know. If you told me in 2020 that I'd be here, I still would be like, oh, that's cute. I don't believe you, but that's cute. But so me being here now in this place that I am now, fully ready and opening to embrace my purpose and my calling in all possible ways, And without having to stand behind a moniker, or being afraid to like do certain things, like share my works that I work on, my conjure works, my root works, or without having to second guess like the wisdom and insight that I've been giving when it comes to my practice and when it comes to certain things, without having to say that I'm the official authority on these things, because I'm not. I just share what I know, and I share my information with the intent to help guide others. So like there was like no the imagination of me being here was like being here was not in my imagination of what I mean. And yet here I am. And I don't know where you guys hearing this will be in a year or 6 years, but I really do think it'll be in a place that you never expected to be. And I mean that in a good way, a great way, and a way in which you have built a solid foundation within yourself, within your spirits, within your ancestors, within your practice, your faith, within being called to these faith, or the callings that required you in the callings from that faith. So like if it's a faith that has like a priesthood, or a faith that has maybe you are a community builder, maybe you are a a scribe or something like that, whatever it is that you're going to be finding yourself to do, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful, and it's going to happen quicker than you think. It's going to move so quickly, but in a good way. It's not going to feel like you're being rushed. It's going to feel like you do this and then this happened. You did this and then this happened. Like it's like just gonna like I keep snapping, but that's really what it's like. Like just as quick as A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. But yes, this is all that I'm seeing for this reading. I want to thank Great Spirit, my beloved and benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, Great Mother Great Mother Divine Mother Makli, and the Great Grandfather. I want to thank you for showing up for yourselves, for listening to this reading, for clicking on this reading. I thank your ancestors and your guides for leading you to this reading. And yeah, that is it. I will see you guys next month, since this is going to be this episode for this month. Next month I'm going to try to do a reading for the healers. That's what I wanted to do for this month, but things happened. So for next month, I'm looking for a message for the reading for the healers. This is for my people as a healer as well. And it's hopefully, if I don't get it out in audio form, then I might get it out in a blog form. And then audio podcast will be audio podcast video will be something different, but who knows? So yeah, remember to follow me at jaysdivinereadings.com. You can purchase tarot readings from there. I have some oracle and tarot decks that they're provided from the maker who makes it. So you can click on there to buy from there. I have some root work that is available in small quantities, but you can do a free consultation with me for a conjure service, and you won't have to charge unless I agree to take you on as a client. And also I have some care packs. I have my old shadow work care pack version, volume 2, which has a compilation of information, resources for mental health. And I will have, by the time this comes up, my trans protection pair cards, which will also be free. And you can download the PDF files or the actual PNG files, the PNG files, and you can print them off and you can use them in your works. You can put them in your card. You can actually print them and make a physical version. You can put them on paper, whatever they are. Yeah, I will see you guys next month. I love you guys. Stay blessed and stay safe. Okay, bye.